Welcome to the analysis and discussion of The Martian. Our film begins on Mars in year 2040. Then, when everyone is doing their jobs, they see that the weather on Mars is very bad. As a result, everyone is preparing to leave the planet. When they want to leave, Mark Watney is hit by a strong wind, and they leave him soon because of the bad conditions and think he is dead. After the situation calms down, we discover that Watney is not dead but injured and unconscious. He's not well, and his oxygen is running out. He gets himself to their state-of-the-art home as soon as possible, and he heals his wounds with the advanced tools available there. Then Watney goes and makes a video of himself saying that he is alive, but the situation here is not good because the prescribed oxygen is here and I can't call NASA. And if they send rescue teams, it will take 4 years to come and save me. It is now 21 sols past Mars time, and Watney is taking a census of the food. He finds that there is enough food for 6 people and enough food for each person for 68 days. So there is enough food for Watney for 300 days. But Watney says he has to save enough food for 3 years, but he has to supply food on a planet where the soil is dead and nothing grows there. But as we know, Watney is a botanist and knows a solution. Then Watney decides to plant potatoes. But how does he do this in dead soil? 1. Martian soil. Watney uses the Martian regolith soil as a base for planting. He assesses its suitability for growing crops. 2. Nutrient addition. Recognizing that Martian soil lacks essential nutrients for plant growth, he mixes the soil with nutrients he finds in the hab. These nutrients are critical for potato growth. 3. Fertilizer. Watney uses his own feces as fertilizer. This adds organic material and nutrients to the soil, enriching it and providing the necessary components for plant growth. 4. Planting process. He plants the potato seeds he salvaged from a food supply, burying them in the nutrient-rich soil. 5. Temperature control. The potatoes are grown inside the habitat, where he can maintain a stable temperature and protect them from the harsh Martian environment. 6. Growth monitoring. Watney carefully monitors the growth of the potatoes, ensuring they receive enough light using the hab's lighting systems and water. 7. Harvesting. After several months, he harvests the potatoes, providing a vital food source to sustain him until rescue. But how does it provide the water? 1. Hydrogen production. Watney uses the leftover hydrazine, N2H4, a rocket propellant, stored in the Mars ascent vehicle, OMAV. He performs a reaction to decompose hydrazine into hydrogen gas, H2, and nitrogen gas, N2. This is done using a catalyst, specifically a platinum sponge, which facilitates the reaction without being consumed. 2. Oxygen source. Watney has access to oxygen tanks from the habitat, HAB. He retrieves the oxygen stored in these tanks. 3. The reaction. With hydrogen and oxygen separated, Watney combines them in a controlled environment. The chemical reaction is 2H2O2, 2H2C. Safety measures. 4. Recognizing that mixing hydrogen and oxygen can be explosive, Watney carefully manages the process. He conducts the reaction in a controlled environment to avoid any accidents, collecting water. As water is produced, it condenses and collects in containers, which Watney then uses for irrigation and his own survival. Now Sol 54. Fortunately, the process has been successful. Then we come back to Earth, where the news of Mark Watney's death is spread and everyone is sad. Then one of the employees monitoring Mars, Mendy, sees the change between Sol 18 and Sol 54 and discovers that Watney is alive and informs everyone. Now is Sol 70. Mark Watney's goal for the Ares 4 mission is to make contact with the crew and ensure his rescue. Specifically, he wants to reach the Ares 4 MAV, Mars ascent vehicle, located at Schiaparelli Crater, which he believes can take him to the Ares 4 crew, who are set to arrive on Mars in a few years. His primary objective is to survive long enough to get to the MAV and ultimately return to Earth. We come back to Earth news. Everyone is talking about how to save Watney and survive. Teddy Sanders, the NASA administrator responsible for making critical decisions about the rescue mission and managing the agency's response. He asks someone named Bruce how long it will take to send the supplies to Watney. Bruce says 9 months. Teddy says this is a long time. We have to supply Watney everything in 3 months. Then we are happy to see that 400 potatoes have grown and Watney has been successful. Later, when Watney looks at the advanced map of Mars, he sees something like a signal, and he gets to her immediately. When Watney leaves, Vincent sees Watney leaving through NASA's smart camera. When he reaches his goal, he meets the Pathfinder. But what does the Pathfinder do? Pathfinder, which Watney references when trying to communicate with Earth. Watney realizes he can use the technology from the Pathfinder rover to establish a signal to NASA. Vincent knows Watney will find Pathfinder. There is another Pathfinder on the ground through which you can communicate with Watney. Both sides then try to activate it, and contact is successfully established. Then, when the cameras of both Pathfinders are activated, Watney conveys his message with a picture that he writes on, and everyone is absolutely sure that Watney is alive. NASA experts then instruct Watney on how to communicate with the rover to speak with a voice. Vincent Kapoor then sends a message via chat saying, "Don't worry, we will try to save you." Vincent then tells Watney that he didn't tell our team that you're alive, and Watney gets very, very angry about that. Then we come back to the team, who are now 4 months away from Mars. That is, they will return to Earth in 3 years and 6 months. NASA then sends a video to the team saying that they have known for 2 months that Watney is alive, but have not been able to send messages due to some obstacles. Now Sol 130, when Watney wants to get in. In the middle of the night, half his house is destroyed by a small hole. Lightning takes him away, causing a hole in his hat that would have killed him if he had saved himself a little later. But fortunately, he heals the hole in his hat. But it is not easy. The potato field has been destroyed, and half of the oxygen in the advanced house has been destroyed. This makes the situation more and more difficult. And we must know that losing potatoes means less life. He has now lost 600 potatoes and will endure another 200 days, which was supposed to last 3 years. In the morning, Watney is cleaning his house and trying to fix it. But when he goes inside, he sees that there are holes that cause oxygen to be wasted. Teddy then tells Bruce that within 15 days, he must have all the supplies ready and that we send them to Watney as soon as possible. Now it's time to send Watney supplies. Everyone is excited. It's time to fly. But unfortunately, the supplies do not arrive, and they soon lose them. And the news of the failure spreads because it was broadcast live. Even China finds out and calls Ted and tells him that they will help. Then a guy named Rich Pornell suggests to Ted that the team go back of Watney. Ted denies it, saying it's a difficult decision and he can't take responsibility because it puts the team's lives at risk. So inevitably, Rich Pornell sends the team a cryptic letter with a solid plan saying, there is only one way to, you must go back to save Watney or Watney will not survive. The team agrees with Rich Pornell and sends a letter to tell him that they are coming to rescue him. And everyone sees the letter live and is surprised. Sol 200 now has an Ares 4 missile, and Watney plans to repair it so the team can get closer and Watney can reach them as soon as possible. He then says that he has another plan, which is to remove the roof of the rover. But why? He needs to transfer his oxygen supply from the rover to his spacesuit without risking exposure to the Martian atmosphere. By creating this airlock, he can manage his oxygen levels more safely and effectively while minimizing the risk of decompression and ensuring he can breathe. This decision showcases his ingenuity and ability to adapt to the harsh conditions on Mars. NASA then begins to provide the team with the necessary supplies to return to Mars. They start sending the supplies and they arrive safely. 7 months have passed and we see Sol 457 Watney, who is very weak, and the food is disappearing.
Everywhere I go, I'm the first. It's a strange feeling. Step outside the rover, first guy to be there. Climb that hill, first guy to do that. 4.5 billion years, nobody here. And now, me. I'm the first person to be alone on an entire planet.
Preparing to reach Ares 4. I've traveled more than 300,000 kilometers. I am in a difficult situation, and I even eat the potatoes raw. I finally got to Ares 4. Now everyone is waiting for Watney to be broadcast live. The crew is waiting for Watney to fly in. After a long wait, fear, sad loneliness, it's time to leave. After much difficulty and obstacles, Watney was finally saved. But what is the message and philosophy of the film? 1. Survival through problem solving. Watney's journey emphasizes the importance of critical thinking and creativity in overcoming obstacles. His reliance on science and engineering highlights the value of knowledge and rationality. 2. Isolation and connection. While Watney faces physical isolation on Mars, his eventual connection with Earth and the people involved in his rescue illustrates the importance of community and collaboration. 3. Hope and determination. The narrative promotes an optimistic outlook, showcasing how determination and a positive attitude can lead to survival even in dire circumstances. Overall, The Martian conveys that with perseverance, creativity, and support from others, even the most daunting challenges can be overcome. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.